Hey, what's up? Kyle Sullerud here, and that's me in that picture, looking very serious, of course, because I'm a very serious guy. I talk about serious things. Um, no, I promise I do smile once in a while if you get me in a good mood. But today I am going to be talking about something very serious, okay? Money and customers. I'm going to be talking about how to get more customers and how to stop wasting money with Google Ads. And specifically, I'm going to show you the three most important things every business owner needs to know before running Google Ads. Now, if you're already running Google Ads, that's fine. They say the best time to plant a tree was 50 years ago, but the next best time is right now. So even if you're already running Google Ads, that's fine. I'm going to show you some things where you can go in, look at what you're doing, and hopefully start doing it a lot better. Just to show you that I'm not a fly-by-nighter. I didn't just start doing this yesterday. This is a snapshot from my call dashboard for my clients. I don't use this for all of my clients. Some of them have their own call tracking. But you can see for the month of October here, I generated over 1,200 calls for my clients. Plus, there were forms that were generated. Basically, just want to show you that I am talking today from experience. I am actively managing accounts for clients right now and helping to generate thousands of leads. And if you've struggled getting leads and customers online before, it's not your fault, okay? I want to be very clear on that. It is not your fault if you've been struggling. The game is rigged against small business owners. And I want to put your fears to rest because what you will learn today is different. What has held you back is what I call the simplicity paradox. And what that means is it looks easy, but there is much more to it than meets the eye. And it looks easy because these companies selling you the advertising space, they make it look easy. Facebook, Google, they make it extremely easy for you to go in and get something set up. But the problem with that is it's not so easy. And if all you're doing is following the basic steps to set these things up, the steps that Google is providing to you, it'll actually be harder and more expensive to get customers. Easy to set up, but harder to actually get good results. Now, if you've ever thought getting customers online has to be cheaper and easier, then you are absolutely right. And after this webinar, you'll be able to get more customers on demand and at a profit. Okay, I have students and clients who, using the methods I'm going to show you today, have things so dialed in that they literally can't handle all the leads. Okay, so look at this email from one of my clients. He's basically telling me to turn off his campaigns. He says we're simply too overwhelmed with leads and cases at the moment, which is a good thing, of course. He's an attorney. That's why he's talking about cases, and has to hire yet another new employee starting to help out. But right now, he's simply too overwhelmed. And this wasn't the first new employee he had to hire because of all the leads that the campaign is bringing him. Now, keep in mind, this is a client, okay? This is someone who's paying me month after month to run his campaigns. So not only is the campaign profitable for him, it's profitable enough that he can also pay me to do it for him. But really, that's not what you have to do. You don't have to pay me to do anything for you. My goal today is to teach you the most consistent and reliable way to get more customers by marketing your business with Google Ads. I'll show you how you can set up and run your own ad campaigns, even if you don't know anything about advertising without the fear of wasting money and not getting results, and even if nothing you've tried before has worked. And yes, at the end of this, I am going to give you an opportunity to work with me personally, but you don't have to do that at all. Okay, this will be about an hour long. It'll be packed full of information that you can take and implement yourself. But just so you know, you will have an option to talk to me about working together if that's the route that you want to take. So what we're going to cover today, number one, how you can compete and win against big companies advertising online, even though the game is rigged against small business owners. Number two, how to set up and run highly profitable Google Ads campaigns, even if you have absolutely no advertising experience or education. And number three, how to create a steady stream of customers for your business without overpaying for leads. Who is this webinar for? This is for small business owners. This isn't for other people running marketing agencies. This isn't for employees of major corporations. This is for small business owners. And this is a world I'm very familiar with because I came from this world. I got into Google Ads because I was using them for my own business. And this is back when it was called AdWords. I had a junk removal company, and I relied on Google Ads to run that company, basically. That's where the biggest portion of our customers came from, was Google Ads. But it took me a long time and a lot of money to figure it out. I lost a lot of money with AdWords before I ever was able to make a profit. But today, I'm hoping that you don't have to go through that the same learning process that I did. I want to lay out the most important things for you now so you can start making a profit right away. So a little more about me. See, I told you I smile sometimes. I don't do the junk removal thing anymore. Now I am a marketing trainer, consultant, and author. I've worked personally with hundreds of clients and helped to generate millions in sales. I'm the creator of a top Google Ads training program, and I own a global marketing company, a local agency, and a software company. So I work with clients all over the world, but I also work with a lot of businesses here locally in North Dakota, where I live. And then my software company, it offers software specific to actually running Google Ads campaigns. So let me get right into this material. So we're going to start with how you can compete and win against big companies advertising online, even though the game is rigged against small business owners. Now, you may think Google Ads simply doesn't work. I hear this all the time. I see people posting it all over the place that Google Ads doesn't work. Actually, once you have the proper tracking in place, you can see exactly how well it works. Here's a snapshot from an account I looked at. They're a client of mine now. They weren't always a client. So the blue line is what they've spent. So that's the cost of their campaigns over time from 2015 to 2018. The red line is the amount of conversions they're getting. A conversion is a lead, so people calling or filling out a form. You can see at the beginning of this, the red line is flat, absolutely zero. So that represents zero conversions. Now, that's not accurate. The company actually was getting leads during that time, I'm sure. But what was happening is they just were not getting tracked. So even though they were spending $1,000 to $2,000 a month on their ads, they had no idea how many customers they were actually getting. That was the position I was in when I was running my junk removal company, and I was just first starting to figure things out on my own. I knew I was spending money, but I didn't know how that was coming back to me. And you can see eventually the conversion tracking was set up, so the customer was able to see how many leads they were getting for the money they were spending. And then once you have that information, you can really dig deep into a campaign and see what is producing leads, what isn't producing leads, and you can spend the money where it's really going to have the most impact. So conversion tracking is essential. So let's talk about the types of conversions that you might want to track. Phone calls from your ads. If you're running Google ads, you're probably tracking this at least. Okay, this is the easiest to track. Someone clicks the phone number in your ad before they even go to your website. This is typically going to be tracked inside of a Google Ads campaign. Phone calls from your website is another thing that you should be tracking. There are lots of services available where it'll dynamically change the phone number on your website. Each visitor will see a different number. So when a number is called, that data is sent back to Google Ads, and you can see exactly where that person came from. You should also be tracking contact forms on your website. So anytime someone fills out a form for an estimate or a contact of any type, you should be tracking that back to your campaign so you can see where that lead came from. And some other things you can track, and if you have these things on your website, you should be tracking emails, chats, and downloads. If you have some kind of a free report or an ebook or something that you want people to download, that's another thing you can track as a conversion in your account. So once you're tracking these conversions, you can actually see how many customers you're getting. And it's actually pretty fun to watch, especially if you have a call tracking set up and you can go listen to the calls that people are making. So here's an example of a client. You can see in the bottom left, they got 93 calls in 1 month. This was for a locksmith. Another client, 44 calls in a month. This was a different type of business. This is a school, actually. They teach different materials related to real estate for realtor training. Here's a dentist, 60 calls in 1 month. And these guys are only targeting like a 5-mile radius. Okay, they're not targeting a ton of people, but we were able to get 60 calls in just a month. Here's a massage therapy business, 143 calls in a month. And because these are coming from Google Ads, these are very high quality calls. These are people booking appointments. This isn't just like someone who saw a Facebook ad for a $20 massage or something trying to attract new customers. No, these people are going to Google looking for businesses that offer massages, booking an appointment, and going and paying full price. Most of these calls are people booking appointments. So these are very high quality. So keep that in mind, just in case you're comparing this to Facebook ads maybe, where you might be able to run a promotion and get hundreds of leads. And that's fine, that has its place. But with Google ads, all of these people contacting the businesses are very high quality. They're ready to become a customer right away. Here is a home inspector, 39 calls, and this is just one guy, okay? It may not seem like a lot of calls depending on the type of business you're in, but this is just one guy doing home inspections, and he's staying pretty busy using Google Ads as his main form of customer acquisition. Another example, an attorney, 360 calls in 1 month. Now, I'm showing you different examples. of 360 calls or 39 calls, just to illustrate that it's going to be different. Whatever business you are in, you can't expect a specific number of calls. It's going to vary depending on your type of business. Maybe it's seasonal, and depending on how many people you are targeting. There are lots of variables that go into this, but I wanted to point out here that once you start tracking your conversions and tracking your calls, you can really have a lot of fun just looking at all of the calls that are coming in. Okay, so here's why it works. You're delivering a message to people in their exact time of need. This is something I pulled. This is a quote-unquote marketing funnel. So if you've tried to learn online marketing from someone else, they may have tried to teach you something like this, where people are entering and coming into this funnel and getting all this follow-up. And if they didn't buy over here, then you send them over here. And it's just crazy. I don't know how anyone starting in online marketing could learn something like this, but this is what's being taught quite often. Now, another option, if you don't want to go through all this, is to get your message in front of someone at their time of need. When someone needs something, where do they go? Where do they turn when they need something? That's right, they go to Google. This is where the vast majority of searches take place online. If someone needs something, they have a question about something, they're turning to Google to get an answer to that question. Now, you may think Google Ads is too expensive, but actually it's only too expensive because most advertisers waste their budget on irrelevant traffic. So let me point out a couple things. If you're not careful, this is how people are wasting their money. If you're not careful, Google will auto-generate ads and auto-add them in your account. So Google has some very sophisticated artificial intelligence, but that AI is not competent at writing ads. But they still force this on people. Their computers will write ads for you, and then if you don't stop it, those ads will just automatically show up in your account, and you'll be paying to put those ads in front of people. Google will also show your ads to people who weren't even searching on Google. There's a bunch of partner websites that show Google ads, but that aren't actually Google. Now, these sites can be good, but they can also be bad. So it's important to know if your ads are showing on these sites, and if so, how well are they doing on these sites that are not Google. They also might show your ad all over the world. So even if you think you're just targeting people in your city, by default, Google will also show your ad to people who it thinks have shown an interest in your city. And that could be any number of ways that they determine that. And it's not just people in proximity. Like, it'll literally be people on the other side of the world in other countries who, for some reason, Google thinks showed an interest in the location you're targeting. And they might see and click on your ads, costing you money. And Google will also show your ads to people searching for completely different things. And this is, in my opinion, extremely aggressive by Google. With their artificial intelligence as advanced as it is, I have to think they know what they're doing, but I don't know. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. But that doesn't help us, because let me show you what happens. So you're setting up a campaign, you're targeting keywords that you think that your customers might be searching for. You want your ads to show up for those keywords, right? Well, that's not really how it works, depending on how you have everything set up. So if you go into any Google Ads account,
kind of buried inside the account is a section called search terms. So you have to go into your keywords first, which is what you think you're targeting. And then you go into another section called search terms, and that'll show you the actual search terms people typed into Google before clicking on your ad. And if you've never done this, and if you have a Google Ads account, you'll probably be surprised at what people are actually typing in and how different a lot of those are from the keywords you're actually targeting. Let me just show you a few examples here quickly. So this is a search term inside an account for a company that was selling franchises, and they were targeting keywords related to franchise opportunities. Google matched up this search term, small business ideas. Now, you could argue this is somewhat related, but really someone who's on Google searching for a small business idea, do you really think they're in the market to invest in a 100K plus franchise opportunity? Absolutely not. The odds of that person becoming a customer is virtually zero. But this business spent over $300 on that search term just because they didn't even know that their ad was showing up for that. Another example, this is a drug rehab center. And here what I've done is filtered all of the search terms that included the word jobs, and those are added up at the bottom. Now this drug rehab center was not hiring at all. They weren't trying to advertise for jobs. They were trying to advertise for people coming in. And you can see that they spent over $2,000 showing their ad to people who were looking for jobs. And look at the far right column here, that average CPC, that's cost per click. They were spending $20, $40 per click in some cases for people looking for jobs, someone with a 0% chance of needing their services. And the last example I'll show you was an urgent care center in New York City. They certainly were not trying to cater to people looking for free medical help, but their ad was still showing up for free walk-in clinic, and they spent over $200 advertising to that keyword. Now, these are obviously some bigger examples, $200, $300, $2,000. You're not always going to see costs this high, but what happens is they add up. You might not have one individual search term costing you this much money. Instead, you'd have hundreds, and they're each costing you a couple dollars, and you're basically just wasting money. So, there are a couple ways to fight this. This is what we call keyword match types. And when you're inputting your keywords into Google Ads, you might input them like this. The top one is exact match. This is telling Google you only want your ad to show if someone types in this exact phrase. The next one is called phrase match. Now you're telling Google your ad needs to include this phrase, but if there are other words, that's all right also. So here you would potentially have your ad showing up for free walk-in clinic again. Up here you wouldn't. This would only include these words, just this phrase. Below this then, we're giving Google some more freedom. We're telling them we want to target this keyword, but the only word that's really vital to us here is the word clinic. And if Google wants to have some leeway with the other words, that's fine. Maybe they would just target people searching walk-in clinic and they wouldn't include the NYC. Or maybe it would be walk-in clinic Manhattan. Okay? So it'll still be fairly close. We're telling them it must include this word clinic, but it's still giving Google a lot of freedom. This last one is a broad match, and this is giving Google ultimate control. and they're going to match this up with whatever they think, whatever they see fit. This is how we get small business ideas showing up for people looking for franchise opportunities. Google just has to think there's some relation here, and they're going to show your ad. So this sounds great, right? Like, why wouldn't we just always do exact match keywords? Then we don't have to worry about anything else. Well, a couple issues with that. So first off, you can see this headline: Google reaffirms 15% of searches are new, never been searched before. So people are always searching for things in new ways. They're typing in new search queries all the time, even for the same thing. So if all you're doing is targeting exact queries that you think people are searching for, yeah, you might get a lot or even most of the traffic that you want, but you're going to be missing out on a lot of opportunities simply because people don't always search for things the same way. They're always searching for things in new ways. Also, Google Ads exact match targeting isn't really exact match anymore. Now it actually includes keywords with the same meaning. So even if you think you're just targeting a walk-in clinic, New York City, if Google thinks that free walk-in clinic, New York City, has the same meaning, they're going to show your ad anyway. Okay, exact match isn't exact match. It doesn't mean that that's all you're targeting anymore. So how else do we combat this issue? Well, what we need to do are add negative keywords. A negative keyword tells Google that if someone's search query includes this word, I do not want my ad to show at all. It should be a negative term. I never want to pay for that. Now we can be reactive about this. We can look at our search terms, see what it is that people were searching before clicking on our ad. When we see something that we don't like, we go ahead and add that as a negative keyword. And absolutely, you should be doing that on a regular basis when you're running Google Ads. But me personally, I'd rather add negative keywords before I ever pay for them. I want to be as proactive about this as possible because all of these irrelevant search terms can really rack up my bill with Google and cause me and my clients to spend a lot more than necessary. Because we know by looking at these search queries whether it's something worth paying for or not. So to be proactive about this, we need to figure out what are people searching for, and we can find this by going to Google and actually seeing. So let's say I'm setting up a campaign for a plumber. What I can do is come here to Google, start to type in plumber, and you can see that Google is showing me the predictive results here. This is what people are searching in addition to the word plumber. So you see things here like salary and jokes. These are not things that I want to pay for if I'm running a campaign for a plumber. So I'd want to add these as negative keywords. And you can get more by doing each letter of the alphabet. So I'd type in an A, I'd look at apprentice, apprenticeship, auger, assistant, app, all this stuff I don't want to pay for. We do the same thing for B and C and go through the alphabet. Okay, and we can get a lot this way. Real quick, I'm just going to show you a piece of software of mine that goes through all of this real quick so you can see how many there actually are. So if I type in plumber here and I get suggestions, it's going to go through all that work for me. So I can look through and, okay, I see salary, putty, tape, and I can just look for all of the words I don't want to pay for. And in a matter of minutes, I can compile a negative keyword list that's going to save me hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars over time, depending on the account. So, just a real quick way, you can see there are a lot of these predictive results, and you can do this by going through Google, or you can use a software like mine. And I'll tell you more about that later if you're interested in that software. The fact is, businesses are spending $100 billion advertising on Google every year. My clients and my students are generating thousands of new leads every month with Google Ads. Once you understand that the game is rigged, you can gain the upper hand and play to win.
Now, moving on, the next thing I'm going to show you is how to set up and run highly profitable Google Ads campaigns, even if you have absolutely no advertising experience or education. Now, you may think you need a ton of experience to run profitable campaigns with Google Ads. And yes, of course, experience helps. You're not going to walk away from this webinar today and be at the same skill level that I am with this stuff. But actually, you don't need a ton of experience to at least be able to run profitable campaigns. Or maybe you think it's easier than it actually is.
Google makes it really easy for you to give them money. And they do. They make it super easy. Maybe you've received a postcard from them with a free coupon that you can use. They really want you getting in there, signing up. They have automated features all over the place. They have smart campaigns where their artificial intelligence basically sets up the campaigns for you. And you can even call Google, and a Google employee will set up your entire campaign for you. I don't know if you knew that or not, and I'm not encouraging you to do this. You should not leave this. You should not quit listening to me right now and go and call Google. That would be a bad idea. And here's why, is because Google support simply is not, it's not the level of support you need. They might be able to help you know where to click. They might be able to help you with billing issues. But when it comes to actually running profitable campaigns, especially for local businesses, some random employee at Google isn't going to be able to help you with that. This is a post someone made in one of my Facebook groups. They said, look at the horrible dip in performance after listening to an AdWords rep. It went back up because I put the campaign back the way I had it. Anyone else ever had a drop in performance after taking the advice of an AdWords rep? And you can see 17 comments on here. A lot of people chimed in. Yes, I let them build me a campaign once and turned it right back off. Everyone has. They have an ever-revolving door of noobs who were first exposed to this 6 months ago, whose job is to follow the script. The bottom one there, I often do stuff for my clients. I improve the KPIs, and then an intern takes over my client's account, listens to Google reps, and then the client calls me back to repair. AdWords support is a joke, absolutely useless. Yes, I had a call with my account rep and implemented the recommended changes, saw the CPC go up, fewer impressions, and a big drop in goal conversions. I went back to how I had it, and what do you know, like magic, everything improved. So, bottom line here is don't take any advice from Google. But what can you do? Well, let me go through this. This actually does come from Google, and there's a lot to take in here, so I'm going to try to break it down. But this is actually Google telling us how their system really works and how you can set up your campaign in a way where you pay less than most people would be paying for the same results. So Google has this thing called ad rank, and ad rank is used to determine your ad position. This is where is your ad showing on the page? Is it the first ad, the second ad, the third ad, or so on? So your ad rank determines where your ad is going to show up and also whether your ad will show at all. Sometimes, depending on the ad rank formula, even if nobody else's ad is showing on the page, your ad might not show there either. Google might decide they just don't want your ad to show up on the page at all. So how do they get this ad rank number? Well, it's calculated using a lot of things here. Your bid amount, so how much are you willing to pay per click? Your expected click-through rate, so Google doesn't want to show ads if no one's ever going to click on them because they don't make any money that way. They want to make sure they're showing ads that people actually click on. So what do they expect in terms of how many people are going to click on your ad? Ad relevance. So how relevant is your ad to the keyword someone was searching? And landing page experience. When people come to your website, are they having a good experience, or is there stuff all over the place that doesn't make sense? Are there pop-ups everywhere? This goes back to the last thing I talked about, keeping the user focused on one thing, focused on their problem. That gives the user a very good landing page experience. Now, there are also ad rank thresholds. So, like I said, even if nobody's ad is showing on the page, Google still might not show your ad. You have to meet a certain minimum requirement before they actually want to show your ad. They'd rather show 0 ads than show irrelevant ads, or than to make just a couple cents per click on an ad. Ad rank also looks at the person's location, the device they're on, the time of search, the nature of the search terms, the other ads and search results that are on the page, and other user signals and attributes, and the expected impact of extensions and other ad formats. And of course, the other user signals and attributes could be anything, and really we don't know what all that is. Only Google and their algorithms know all that. But as you can see, there's a lot that goes into ad rank and determining where your ad is going to be on the page. It's not just about who is the highest bidder. That's part of it, but there's so much more that goes into that. And look at this. Even if your competition has higher bids than yours, you can still win a higher position at a lower price by using highly relevant keywords and ads. Let me say that again. Even if your competition has higher bids than yours, okay, it's not just about the bids. We saw a ton of other factors that go into your ad rank. So even if they have higher bids, you can still win a higher position at a lower price by using highly relevant keywords and ads. So Google is telling us right here that it's not just about the bid. There's a lot more that goes into it. So how do we take advantage of this? Again, following Google's system and following their recommendations is not the answer here. Let's look at what happens when we follow along with what Google wants us to do when setting up a campaign. While you're setting up your campaign, Google is going to take you through this screen where you add your keywords. And they'll even give you keyword ideas. You can type in your website or a related website. So as a tribute to my junk removal days, let me type in 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com, and we'll see the keyword ideas for that. So we can see a lot of them here. We have dumpster rental, junk removal, got junk, junk cleaner, trash service, junk pickup, waste disposal. Okay, there are a lot. We can keep scrolling down here. There are more, so we click see more. and we can see even more of these keyword ideas from Google. And as you can see, again, there are a lot. Now, you may think that would be good to just add a lot of keywords to your campaign to get as much traffic as possible. That's how I first approached this. And you can go here and just add these. You can add all of the ideas. So now we're adding all of the ideas that Google gave us. And that's a lot, right? So do we want to add all these keywords? Well, maybe, but remember what we just read. You can still win a higher position at a lower price by using highly relevant keywords and ads. So when we're setting up a campaign and adding keywords into an ad group, what that means is a group of keywords that all share the same ads. These are all the keywords that Google just recommended we add for that example. Do you think that all of these keywords would benefit from having the exact same ad? Would Google think that that's very relevant? If someone was searching for a commercial dumpster or a waste pickup, should those people see the same ad? Or someone searching for appliance pickup, should all of these be the same ad? Absolutely not. We should have different ads for these. That's how we develop ads that are highly relevant, which Google wants us to do. They tell us to do that, but then when we're walking through the setup guided by Google, it's a completely different story. Now let's pick out just a few of these keywords: dumpster rental, junk removal, and trash pickup. Should these keywords have the same ad? No, they obviously shouldn't. If we want our ad to be relevant to what someone was searching for, we would need a different ad for each of these keywords. You don't need a different ad for every single one of these keywords. That's not what I'm saying. But you should group them together so that you at least have differences when the differences are significant like this. These are all completely different things. So I'm going to show you how to structure your ad group to really take advantage of how Google's system works so that you actually can pay less than your competitors for the same ad position or a higher ad position, and therefore you'd end up paying a lot less per customer. Now, I'm going to use a piece of software here called Keyword Burst. You do not have to use this at all. I'm just going to use this so you can wrap your head around how this works a little better. I think it's a little more visual. And then I'll show you what the result looks like. And you can see how you'd be able to do this without the software too. But we'd go in here and set up the ad groups. So the first ad group would be dumpster rental. I'll add another ad group, and that will be junk removal. I'll add another ad group, and that will be trash pickup. And maybe I'd also put trash pickup like that, so we have the different variations of these words in the same ad group. So then what we want to do is include all the different types of location variations that people might be searching. So let's use as an example the Twin Cities, okay, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota. So we would have Minneapolis, Minnesota, St. Paul, Minnesota. MSP is an abbreviation for Minneapolis, St. Paul, maybe Twin Cities. And also things like near me. So if someone's searching dumpster rental near me or local,
dumpster rental around me, things like that. So we might include more locations if there's additional suburbs that we want to reach, but this gives you an idea. So I have my locations here. I have my ad groups here. What I want to do then is generate a spreadsheet. So I'll click this button. This gives me a spreadsheet. And you can see there are going to be 3 columns on the spreadsheet. Each column is an ad group. So here's the first column for dumpster rental. And you can see what has happened is we've added these locations to dumpster rental. Every variation of the locations. We have the different keyword types, the broad match, the exact match here, and the phrase match. And that's happened for the junk removal ad group as well as the trash pickup ad group. So with just in less than a minute, with just a couple clicks, we've created our ad groups here with about 100 keywords per ad group, which is a lot more than the 3 we started with. And these are all very closely related keywords, so these do belong in their own ad group. So now we can write an ad here that talks about dumpster rental. And if we don't offer dumpster rental, well, maybe we need to at least reference dumpster rental and talk about why junk removal is better. Here we'd write an ad about junk removal. Here we'd write an ad about trash pickup. By having these keywords in their own ad group, we can do that. Now, another thing you can do with this software is we could only include location keywords if I check this box here. So when I generate the spreadsheet now, once that loads in here, you'll see that we're not including just dumpster rental anymore, but we are requiring that the keyword includes one of those location variations we put in. Now, I'll tell you, if you're working with a limited budget, if you're just starting out and you need to make sure that you're not wasting any money and virtually guarantee that your campaign is going to be profitable from the start, this is how you do it. You would only include keywords that include a location. Because when someone's searching for something like this, with the name of a location included, they are pretty much ready to buy. They know what they want, and they're just looking for a service near them that can help them with what they want. So this is a great way to start out and to work with a limited budget. And I don't recommend always doing this. Eventually, you'd want to get to here where you're actually targeting some broader keywords, because not everyone searches with a location name, but it's a great way to start out and ensure profitability. Is that cool or what? Can you see how setting up your ad groups like this, can you see how this is going to allow you to target only the customers you want, only people who are really ready to buy? Yeah, pretty cool, right? So the fact is, even if you have no advertising experience and you know nothing about Google Ads, or at least very little about Google Ads, you can easily set up and run profitable ad campaigns and can even spend less than your competition. Well, let's get into section number 3, how to create a steady stream of customers for your business without overpaying for leads. Now, you may think Google Ads is just too complicated. You get into it and you just don't know what to do.
And you may think you'll waste a ton of time setting up and running your campaigns, and then you won't get any leads. Now, these are all valid concerns, okay? I hear this stuff a lot. I get it. I get that you have these concerns. But I want to bring up a quote here that I really like from this book, The Book of Survival. And the author says, "To live through an impossible situation, you don't need to have the reflexes of a Grand Prix driver, the muscles of a Hercules, the mind of an Einstein. You simply need to know what to do." Now, I don't think Google Ads is an impossible situation. It may seem like that to some people, but really it comes down to knowing what to do. Anthony Greenbank taught what to do when your life depended on it. When you were in a survival situation, he used this book as a way to teach people what to do so they could survive. I don't place what I do on that high level of importance. Okay, I'm not teaching you how to save your life when it's in danger, but I do help businesses survive, and I'm passionate about helping business owners. Okay, that's what I do. Now, it's true that you simply need to know what to do. I'm sure you can agree with that. Some businesses know what to do. Some don't know what to do. Some kind of know what to do. But it all comes down to knowing what to do. And when we're talking about Google Ads, it actually comes down to just two things. You want to hear what these two things are? Number one, who you're targeting. And number two, what you're saying. At the most basic level I can think of, this is what you're doing with Google Ads. If either of these are out of place, it's not going to work. If you're not targeting the right people, the right keywords, it doesn't matter what you say, you're not going to get a single customer. You're just not. You have to be able to target the right people. Now, if you're targeting the right people, but you're not saying the right thing, you're not going to get customers from them either, okay? It doesn't work that way. You need to have both of these in place. I've already talked a lot about who you're targeting. Now let's talk about what you're saying. And going along with that is, how are you saying it? Let me bring back this email I showed you earlier from one of my clients when he said, "We're simply too overwhelmed with leads and cases at the moment," which is a good thing, of course. Now, the reason that he had to have me slow down his campaign at this time wasn't because I started spending more money on the campaign. What I did was I actually set him up with a new web page, a new landing page that we were sending the traffic to. So when they clicked on the ad, they would land on this new page. His campaign was doing great before this. Once I set up a new landing page, though, it more than doubled the amount of responses he was getting with the same amount of traffic. Same people coming to the page, twice as many people were contacting him. So that's why we had to slow things down and give him a chance to hire a new employee to help keep up with all these extra contacts. So let me actually show you the template that I used for him to help him accomplish this, to take his web page from about a 10 to 12% conversion rate. So 10 to 12% of the people landing on the page took action and contacted him. And we brought that up to over 25%. Let me show you that page now. So here is the website. And this is the template, the basic template that is helping me and my clients get 20, 25, 30% of the people who land on this page to actually take action and call the business or fill out the contact form and hand over their name and contact information. And you can see it is, in fact, very basic. And that's the point, okay? Now, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this, but right now I just want to go over the basics of why this works so well. What we're doing is focusing the user, the person who just clicked on your ad, now they're on your website, we're focusing on their problem, and we're focusing them on the one thing we want them to do. We're not distracting them with a bunch of links at the top of the page. We don't have a link to our Facebook page or anything like that. All we want them to do is contact us. They can do that by calling us, and we have the number on the page here: once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Okay, the number is all over the page. And of course, a main focus of the page is this contact form. So we either want them to call the number, which they can see pretty much wherever they are on the page, or we want them to hand over their name, email, and phone number so we can follow up with them. Now, if they do this, if they enter their name and phone number here, we're not just sending them to a page that says, "Okay, thank you, we'll be in touch shortly." We're saying that, but we're also trying to move them further along, because we'd really rather they called us right away, if possible, because it's not always easiest to call people back and get hold of them. So the thank you page continues the job of selling them on our company and actually trying to get them to call us right away, even though they may have just filled in their name and phone number to start with. But the simplicity of this page is what's so important. We're focusing on the user's problem. We're not telling them everything that's great about our business. It's more important to focus on the customer and on what they are trying to accomplish, the problem they are trying to solve. If we focus on that, by default, they're going to understand that we are the company who can solve that problem for them. We're putting testimonials on the page. These are screenshots you would take directly from Facebook or Google. And this has a lot of trust built in. You recognize right away that these are screenshots from Facebook, right? Well, if we're putting 5, 10, 15 reviews on this page, well, now they don't have to go to Facebook or Google to find our reviews. We just gave them hand-picked reviews that we thought were the best ones. And by the time they're done reading those, they probably don't feel a need to go elsewhere and do more research. Meanwhile, while they're on Facebook or Google, they're getting distracted by something else and they forget about us entirely. We want to keep them here. So that's why this page works so well. This has been developed over time through testing and trying a lot of things. And this is basically what I've come to at this time. And this may change in the future, but right now this is working extremely well to help capture the lead when they come to your site and turn that person into a lead and into a customer. Again, it all comes down to these 2 things: who you're targeting and what you're saying. The truth is, Google ads are not as simple as Google wants you to believe. But there are simple actions you can take to get amazing results. You just need to follow the right plan. Not Google's plan, but a plan that's been proven to work for hundreds of small businesses. So what we've covered today: number 1, how you can compete and win against big companies advertising online, even though the game is rigged against small business owners. Number 2, how to set up and run highly profitable Google Ads campaigns, even if you have absolutely no advertising experience or education. And number 3, how to create a steady stream of customers for your business without overpaying for leads. And let me ask you, do you want help with this? I said earlier
that I was going to give you an opportunity to work personally with me. So that's what I'm asking now. Do you want help with this? If not, go ahead, leave the presentation now. You don't need to hear the rest. But if you are interested in working with me and getting some help with everything I've talked about and a lot more, then let me tell you what I have for you. I do work with clients personally, but it's by application only. This allows me to screen applicants to ensure it's a good fit for me and for you. And I put some work into this, okay? If someone comes to me and wants to work with me, there's a lot I need to do to figure out if it's going to be a good fit. So that's why I have an application. I need you to at least put some time into filling out a simple application. If you can't do that, it's certainly not going to be a good fit for us. But with that application in hand, I can take a look and see if this is something that would be good for me and good for you. And if it is a good fit, I will make a performance guarantee specific to your business. So I'm going to take a look at your business goals. I'm going to take a look at what you've been doing. If you've already been running Google Ads, I'm going to take a look at the results you've been getting. And then I'm going to see what I can do for you above and beyond what you've been able to do for yourself. And I'm actually going to guarantee a specific result. So what does this mean? Well, if I agree to work with you and I don't meet or exceed the guaranteed results, you don't pay me a thing, okay? This puts both of us in a great position. I'm not going to take you on as a client unless I really believe I can help you a great deal and that I can meet a guarantee that I put out for you. And of course, for you, it means that you're going to know exactly how well I think I can help you. And if I don't help you as well as I expect and as well as I guarantee, you won't even pay me anything. So it puts both of us in a great position. Plus, if I can't help you personally, I have a strong network of Google Ads professionals that I can refer you to. And there could be any number of reasons I can't help you. Maybe I just don't have the time or don't feel familiar with your specific type of business to the point where I would be willing to make a guarantee. But I might have someone else in my network who has strong experience with your type of business. I have a lot of people I can put you in touch with if I can't help you personally. So what I want to invite you to do now is go to this web address, apply.adleg.com. You'll see an application there, and you can fill that out and submit it to me. I'll review that and take it from there. So go to apply.adleg.com. Let me just show you a few results from some of my clients. Here's a $25 average cost per call for a dentist. And these are new patient inquiries. And of course, to a dentist, a new patient is worth a great deal because once you start going to a dentist, you keep going to them for years and years if that dentist is doing a good job. So $25 cost per call for this particular dentist. Here is a landscaping business generating 322 calls, which you can see in the image. There were also 295 contact forms generated for this business in a 6-month period. So over 600 leads came into this business in just 6 months. As you can imagine, that had a dramatic effect on this landscaping business. Here's an example from an online service business. So they have a $19.95 per month product. The top line there was the results they were getting from their old campaign, $34.50 per sign up. And then I came in and was able to start getting them signups for about $12 a piece. So a dramatic difference there. Here's another example from a specialty attorney, a nationwide attorney, almost 1,800 leads for $9.27 per lead in less than a 6-month period. Now, I hesitate to show you some of these examples because really every business is different, right? For one dentist, $25 a lead might be great for them, depending on where they are, depending on how much they're charging their customers, depending on how well they're doing turning those leads into customers. For another dentist, they might be happy to pay $50 per lead, or maybe a different company would need to pay $20 per lead or less. It's all relative, and that's why I don't have set fees or set pricing for what I do. I need to take a close look at your business, what you're doing, and the results I can actually get for you specifically before I can even talk about pricing or talk about the specific results that I think I can get for you. So I do hesitate showing you some of these examples, but I wanted to show you at least a lot of different types of examples so you can at least get an idea for what is possible with some of these campaigns. Another example, this was for a high-end massage studio paying $22 Australian, which is about $16.62 in US dollars per lead for their massage studio. So again, I want you to go now to apply.adleg.com, fill out the application, and I will get back to you shortly regarding whether I think we can work together or whether there might be someone else who is a better fit. If you have questions, go ahead and email support@adleg.com. Now, this isn't going to allow you to circumvent my application process. If you're asking about working together, I'm still going to direct you to that application page. But if you have a question about something else or just a simple question, feel free, go ahead, email support@adleg.com. And myself or someone on my team will get back to you and try to be as helpful as possible. So I hope you got a lot out of today. Even if you don't have any desire to work with me, that's fine. Hopefully you still got a lot out of this presentation and you can go implement some of these things in your own campaigns and start seeing better results right now. Or if you're just starting out, you can start to see great results from the start. Results most people just starting in Google Ads are never going to see if they didn't start out with this information I covered today. So thanks for your attention. Thanks for listening, and I will talk to you soon.